Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So you want me to stream everyone,
Would
right?
anybody like to go first?
Don't all jump at once.
Okay. I would like to talk. Hi, I'm Candace.
Hi, Candice.
I would like to talk about accountability. I would like to talk about what everyone like about how we can maximize each different social media platform. Um, and like
Sorry, like maximize.
like Twitter is good for like updates. Tumblr is good for like long-term posts. Like Facebook is like if you want to get news out quick or something like that. And then also, I guess that's it. Just like accountability, and then and like if we can see if we can get like affinity group or subcommittee going on like working on creating a new OLESM process and rules to like post the content or whatever, so things can be like updated and still have its rules. Oh, or we weren't doing popcorn, so never mind.
I'll go. I think what I would like to see in the sandbox, I guess, is like I I think it's like getting difficult to productively get the posts like to post. Basically, like a lot of things get buried really fast. So I was thinking that we could empower more people as sandbox admins in order to hide posts, because I feel like the current sandbox admins aren't really doing that very productively, and it would just be nice to like basically just applying to stuff that's already been posted. I just want to know that that stuff gets hidden. So it's like just basic sandbox admin stuff.
I guess what I want to see on the sandbox, or as he calls it, the soapbox. Um, less attack, personal attacks on people, because that's really counterproductive, really counter-revolutionary. Um, and we need to find a way to hash out our problems. If we're gonna work together, we got to stop all this retardedness, because that's what it is. It's retarded. People attacking each other, people going after each other, accusing people of being cops, and all that cop baiting and all that bullshit. That needs to stop. It needs to fucking stop. And accusing people of being patriarchal when when there's no need for it. There's no need for you know. Well, yeah, there are some patriarch, but I mean, the like the people that cry out patriarchy the loudest are the most patriarchal people on earth. So we need to talk about those things. Don't. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm happy to see everybody, because I'm not. But I I said the other day, yesterday, as a matter of fact, that all this, people not wanting to work with somebody because they don't like them, and they'll work with somebody else because they're working on, that retarded ass shit needs to stop for real. Because I mean, I still have the same frustrations that I've had for months with social media, and those things need to be addressed. I shouldn't be dealing with the same old frustrations that I've been dealing with for months. When I was asked to be a part of this, you know what I'm saying, and I'm still dealing with those same fucking frustrations now, and it's ridiculous. I shouldn't have to be dealing with this shit, and being accused of being patriarchal because I call somebody out on their shit. That's all. I mean, that. I mean, I lost my voice somewhere along the way in 2012, but in 2013 I found it. I'm not gonna stay silent anymore. And I mean, I'm sorry if I come off as aggressive sometimes, but I just get tired of seeing the same old people attacking the same old people over and over and over and over again, and it's getting out of hand. So I mean, let's talk about what we came here fucked up. Because I mean, I don't want to, I don't want to be involved in something that's supposed to that's supposed to be, uh, like, that's supposed to be beneficial to the revolution and to the cause, and it's totally opposite of everything that it was hitting, because it's pushing people away. Certain people are being attacked, um, on a constant basis, and there's nothing in there's nothing in there's nothing being done about it. People are not following the page. A lot of people have stopped following the page. A lot of people don't participate, and the ones that talk the biggest shit, they not even here. So yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say.
Okay.
I'll go. Well, I'm
Yeah.
used to being live streamed. Kind of
Oh, sorry.
creepy.
Sorry.
So I just wanted to start out by saying like it was really great this morning that admins were all in there and like working and helping out each other, and I think that was really positive, and hopefully we can work moving forward to just try to ignore bullshit. I know like I have probably, I don't know, for the past 5 days, like every time I see a little comment that kind of pisses me off, and it's like maybe I'll be halfway through typing something and I'm like, no, erase, ignore, move on. And it's been working out really great for me, and I feel like a lot better about things by just like taking accountability for myself and like, you know what, I can only control me, and there's a lot of just really unnecessary drama, and so I'll take accountability, for myself. Um, and then Amari, like what you said, like I agree with every word Amari said. Absolutely, totally agree with it. I probably see it from a different perspective, but I think we're all kind of saying the same things to each other. I think we're all like accusing each other of things that, like, the same thing. Like we all think the other one is doing the thing that we're accusing. Like, I don't know, it's not coming out right, but I think we all feel the same way. And there's been a lot of things said. There's been a lot of accusations recently in Sandbox and in the past, and a lot of things have been said that are not true, and people are believing them. And I don't know. If somebody's saying something about me, I would like them to come to me and say, "Hey, Patty, I was concerned that this person said this thing to me," and then I could tell you, hey, that didn't happen.
Would you like to add something to agenda, or do you feel like that falls under like less personal attacks and accountability?
Yeah, I mean that falls under the same
Those two
category
things.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know, like I think we call out each other too much. I think there's a lot of stuff that we could just like ignore.
We need to call each other out.
Because that's just snowballs. Seriously.
What I'd like to do is just have the people who haven't spoken first, but then since Patty and Amari have actually engaged in like, checking in with where they're at as opposed to just naming agenda items, then I'd like to return to you two if that's cool.
Yeah, I just wanted to request that like we stay on agenda items
Oh,
and
okay.
like make like
Well,
when
I
we
mean, I
start.
don't know. I kind of feel like I just let everybody, at least say their piece. And so I just wanted to offer you two an opportunity to chime in likewise if you would like to, after everybody else has gone over agenda items, if that's cool. I don't know. I kind of feel like that's fair, if that's okay.
Yeah. Oh no. I just.
Okay. I mean, yeah, we'll try and stay on agenda, but if you feel like you want to add something, then yeah, we'll return to those who haven't had a chance or spoke.
There's like a chat right here.
Yes, and
Yeah. I guess.
Here you go.
All right. Well, actually, can you stream me? It doesn't matter. Well, my name is Marco. I'm a traveling occupier. All you hear is my voice, or whatever. Unless you want to stream me, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Long story short, yeah, I make music. I'm a musician. I'm an occupier and all that good stuff too. But why I'm here is to try to help infuse music into the movement, so we can really get the arts and get the creativity onto another level. You're seeing all sorts of stuff. It's like music is separated from movement when they should be both. When you look at the original civil rights movements, that's what made it happen, was music. Tied it all together. So I'm here to present those ideas and see. And I can provide music. I got a ton of bands, friends of the bands, and we can just show up, 9 bands tomorrow. We can do that, so long as everyone agrees and the other bands are available. But realistic, just something that we can do, so long as we all have consensus for that. I do agree with the no BS situation. I don't really know the interiors of what's going on, and honestly, I'm not really interested in the drama. That's my part of it. I think that if we're all here to address something, we should address something. And if that something is social media, or the world being screwed up, let's focus on that. And then the petty stuff, well, let the petty stuff filter itself out. And that's just my opinion on that. But I just feel like, now granted, if we do things and say, if I called Patty a name or said something about her, I would expect her to come to me and, hey, I heard that you said such and such. Is that true? Not in an accusational way, just in an inquisitive manner. And saying, hey, I heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, but is it possibly? Just bring it up. Discuss it, and maybe not in this form, because this is a forum about something else. Discuss it, address it, and keep it moving. So, that was just what I have to say about that. Anybody introduce yourself? Okay.
Hi, my name is Ann Higgins, and I've been involved in Occupy for over a year now in the South, and I've got some connections on the East Coast also. And my main concern, I'm an outsider obviously here, but I do know how Facebook can affect occupiers. And the main thing I would suggest is that people, just try to get along online and let opinions be heard and don't troll, and just let people state their opinions in a respectful way. That's what I would suggest. And I'm sure you guys do that. I don't know. I've just seen other occupies go down because of trolling and bad vibes. I would just hope that wouldn't happen here, because I've seen too many bad things happen in other occupies. So that would be my 2 cents.
okay, that's actually kind of simple. I mean, I'd definitely like to see, the accountability, and I like the idea to have a subcommittee to once and for fucking all address the rewriting of our rules and guidelines. Mercy on this committee for not, because I mean for me that has such a huge part to do with our lack of accountability. I mean, yeah, they're not appropriate because they were supposed to be rewritten at the beginning of the year, and so obviously all these problems. I mean, it's this vicious cycle. All these problems detract from our ability to do that, and whatever. That just, it needs to be done. So I like the idea of a subcommittee, but honestly, I feel like what we could really do is take a hiatus and just focus on that, because that's how important that is to me, is that we all just really focus on that, so that that is a functioning committee, and so that we can actually accurately hold each other accountable according to the rules and guidelines that we create for ourselves. I think that's I just don't see accountability happening without that. And actually, then I mean, I like a lot of the things that were said today. I love the idea of adding music and arts, but I hope we talk about that, specifically, since this is the social media committee, that we talk about how maybe we could integrate that into our social media platforms, and since we're not an organizing committee.
Right.
But and in regards to maximizing the utilization of our platforms, I think that's a really important conversation to have too. Like, how do these platforms work? How can we best make them work for us? And um, you know, I guess for me, this kind of lends to the idea that's been coming up about having a strategy and a plan for social media, like really making clear what our goals are. For me, it's the ultimate is getting people to participate in events and so forth. But I think there needs to be more dedication to connecting, OLA perspectives and OLA events to our posts so that people understand why they would want to participate in our events.
Confidence.
So,
Hi, Cozy.
I'm hoping that we
Do you
can
want me to write her back?
build consensus around that
Oh.
about consciously constructing our posts to get people into the streets. That's about it.
My name's Ryan, and wanted to echo a lot of what Candace and Heather said. As far as agenda topics, I'd like, I don't know if, I'd like pepper spray to be on there, to like get people's thoughts on what's going on with that in-house, and that whole situation.
Pepper spray.
Yeah, I had an idea too to try and get popcorn ideas about what people thought social, like what people's personal social media strategy was, if any at all. I wanted to provide that face to face as opposed to not providing it online. But yeah, really focus on accountability and getting to the root cause of why people like pepper spray are existing. And that's about it.
Who the hell is pepper spray?
Oh,
I've been hearing a lot
well,
about
and
that.
actually,
I've been
okay. I mean, can we, yeah, maybe come to that when we get to that on the
Yeah,
agenda
I'm
item,
just
then we'll
curious. I
just
want to
kind
know
of
who this
like
person is.
talk about what that is. Because for me, that also relates to this, our strategy and our goals. Like, are we, and I've said this many times in the sandbox, like, I really don't go by this idea that, like, oh, if we have likes and shares, then we're successful. No, because that doesn't equate to getting people on the streets. And so I'd like that to be part of that strategy conversation too. So, yeah, I just want to ask if you two would like to add anything since.
Oh no, I just wanted to thought process
Okay.
and see if we could like if we're gonna get comments, just like stack,
Okay.
and then also see if like how everyone would feel about like trying to keep our comments to like I don't know like 30 seconds to 45 seconds, just so that like we can try to like cover and dig in there, and that like we're all being mindful of like our space.
I would like to request that, because like in several of the last meetings, we did no direct responses, and I don't know. I guess I would like to at
Yeah,
least have
no
like
direct.
one. Well, I personally don't really like that. I don't know, because it seems like we lose a lot of flow and build when we're working on an idea if there's no direct responses. So, um, like, I don't know. Even if it's something as rudimentary as like one person for and one person against whatever, like as a direct response, or something like really really simple, so that we can have some back and forth about some of the things that we're talking about. That would be my personal preference.
It's having like a quick temperature check to see if we're all okay with a direct response in that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
I'm cool just as long as it's not dragged out.
I'm
I
a
mean,
little,
well,
I'm a
because
little
the way it
confused.
has been going is
I'm a
no
little
direct
unclear because you
responses.
just said you didn't want any direct responses, and then you said something about so
No.
we could have back and forth.
No, I said I do want direct
Okay.
responses, because in like the vast majority of the meetings we have been having, we have not had any direct responses, and I feel like we
I
are
understand
losing
that.
the flow
Okay,
or
I got it.
momentum of
Okay,
discussion.
thank you.
So I don't know. How do people feel like that? Like,
I'm cool with it. I'm
that's
just
cool.
just
With
as
that,
long as it's
the
not dragged.
direct responses?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So then, as far as structure for the agenda, um, I mean, do we want to prioritize like according to easiest to address to more complicated, or do we want to, I mean, because I feel like what I'm getting is there's most focus on accountability, less personal attacks, that kind of thing, and then also on maximizing the utilization of platforms and strategy. So if we were going to prioritize, for example, the other things first, and then then maybe we can move through the agenda a little bit faster, or I don't know. I mean, do we want to go for the things that people are most focused on first? I don't know.
I would like to talk about accountability first because I feel like it's kind of just like the elephant in the room, and so we might as well just start talking about it.
Okay, everybody okay with that? I mean, would anybody like to voice their personal preference how we prioritize the agenda today? Is it counter to that, or you're okay with that?
I'm good with whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then accountability first. I mean, does that mean we're also agreeing to then talking about strategy and utilizing platforms next? Like, are we going to prioritize the things that we really want to talk about the most? Okay, so let's do that. Accountability, and then yeah, strategy. And do we, okay, and so what I'm feeling is that less personal attacks, pepper spray, and accountability are kind of the same thing. Okay, okay. So accountability, can people get on staff? Alex?
Um, I well, I really think that we need to act ethically because right now we have to recognize that we don't have any guidelines. Like just on the real, like we don't have guidelines that we're really following, and so like to reference them, it's like it's acting as a reminder, but it's not really like a hard rule because there's very little enforcement. And so I think that what's necessary to get this address a lot of concerns is like establishing new guidelines and establishing new codes of conduct and just specifying things um, because there people do things and then they regret doing them, um, and I feel like there's so much up in the air about, I mean, like for example, we don't have new admins, like we don't have new sandbox managers and admins, and that's because of lack of participation and lack of real process. And I think that we need to formulate a structure so that people can actually attach to it instead of just like throwing it out there like on some random day, like, oh, we're trying to have a poll to see like about rotation of like responsibilities and stuff, and that's really like falling apart, I think, right now. So that's like kind of an emergency concern of mine.
What's
It's
the
like
sandbox again? Try to
just
clarify.
structure,
Oh, the structure.
just ability to call for something and then execute it and like have things get done. If people put in the effort to make a poll, or if people put in the effort to do something and then everyone else votes, then that should hold. That should hold some weight, and people should have some responsibility towards them.
For better understanding, a point of information, can I understand your process? I mean, I'm new to your group, so I don't really understand how you guys operate. Are you guys basically just putting together media and then saying, "Here's what I made. Here's what I made. Let's all figure out how to put it together," or is that what you're trying to figure out, the structure on how to? I guess that's what I'm trying to understand.
I can kind of answer that. I
Oh,
mean,
please.
essentially, it's a collective space where people contribute materials that could potentially be posted.
Yeah. So then the structure that you guys are talking about, is that more about how to behave on Facebook, or
It's
I guess?
about everything. Like, I mean, some of the guidelines are like that. We are to follow OLAGA consensus on positions and events, and just I mean, some of them are just like really fundamental things,
Okay.
and but some of them do speak to behavior in our workspace, and how, yeah, I mean, who, what roles do what, and that kind of stuff. But the guidelines are woefully outdated. The social media team was restructured at the beginning of the year, and it was, uh, we had grandfathered in these guidelines with the understanding that we would revamp them. So that's like, yeah,
And
basic.
and that was the thing you mentioned that was supposed to be done in January.
Yes,
Oh, now who's in charge of that?
we all
The
are.
guideline.
We all are. But that's, yeah. I
She
mean, I
has
think
a she has a person in place.
no. She's just saying it's out of process. But
Oh.
yeah, I mean that's
Well, I mean, it's all to
I
understand the
yeah.
goal. I guess to me, what I've learned. I'm sorry, just one last thing, and then
Well,
what I
actually,
learned
too,
is.
can I have you get on Stack? Because
Yeah.
I
Okay. I'm
think we're
sorry.
a couple people ahead of you,
I'm
and
sorry about that.
yeah, sorry, I just want to respect Stack
Yeah, I didn't know we
and
had one going for
process.
this yet.
Yeah. Um, yeah. It's
Yes.
I assume there'll be a lot of questions that come up throughout this whole dialogue,
Hmm.
just because no one here, uh, if you haven't been involved with the social media, or anything.
Right,
So
with this group.
I'm down to like do a workshop and let you know, but I don't think this is the space for that.
Right, that makes sense.
Um, but yeah, I got on Stack about accountability because I would love to hear from PMbeers about pepper spray. That's all I want to say.
Is that it?
That's all I'm saying.
Um, I don't know what pepper spray is.
Did you want to be on staff?
Huh?
Did you want to be on staff?
I
Oh,
think he's
okay.
asking for direct response.
Yeah, can I just give a direct response? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what pepper spray is.
Okay.
Like, I've heard people say, like, tell me accusations that sound really weird, and
Could you maybe just explain, because I know Murray had asked, could you clarify what pepper spray is?
Pepper spray appears to be an account that's associated with your brother-in-law or something. There's a whole bunch of common friends between your relatives and stuff. That's the evidence that I saw. But you're making a lot of comments on public pages about Aladdin and stuff.
so what is the concern?
I just wanted to know what. Like,
I
I
want to
would
know
think
why there's a concern.
if it were me, if there was
Uh-huh.
someone that I didn't know that was friends with all of my relatives,
Uh-huh.
I would be really weirded out, and I would want to get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
So
I don't
if
know,
you
but
don't have
if,
that
like,
feeling, that's a little weird to me.
no, I'm weird about, like, there's these accusations being made that I don't know what are, and I don't know what the concerns are, and I don't know what, honestly, like, what is the concern?
Well, let's put the question. So Heather's next to the phone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually just on pepper spray. I went to look at the page, can't see anything because everything's black. And this profile is all over the OLA page all the time. Is agitating every time things are heated up in the sandbox. So, like, there is a direct correlation for me. It is somebody who obviously knows what's going on inside the sandbox because they agitate about what's going on in the sandbox on our page. So I go to the page, and okay, like anybody who's an occupier, like, I'm sure you all have seen anybody who's within your occupation. You go to their page, if you're not their friend, you have like 30 plus friends in common. Easy, easy, every single time. And I go to Pepper Spray's page, and I have zero mutual friends, and there are only 3 people that show up in the friends that I have mutual friends with. One, I have no idea who he is. The other two are Patty Beers and Patty Pepper. And, because she unfriended me. So she just shows up as a friend who, that I have mutual friends with of Pepper Spray. So, I mean, I have to say that, like, the feeling I got from that is that it is almost statistically impossible that she would have 2 of the profiles that Pepper Spray has, friends of, that I only have mutual friends with. And my concern with the pepper spray profile is that not only is pepper spray saying all these things with an obvious knowledge of what is going on inside our committee, but is also sending messages to the page, and other admins are actually posting it inside the committee saying, oh, we should pay attention to this because this is a reader and they have concerns, and oddly enough they are the exact same concerns that Patty has inside the sandbox. I mean, I find this all like way too coincidental to be, like a mistake. I find it really hard to believe that you don't know who pepper spray is if you were not pepper spray yourself.
No, I said I don't know what the problem is.
The problem is that if that is you and you are writing the page and trying to push your agenda through a profile that you are not saying you are responsible for, then that is disingenuous to the committee to drive your agenda through a profile that you are not admitting is yours.
When did I not admit it?
So would you?
Oh, I'm not that.
No, I really want to.
Are you admitting it?
I really want to hear what your concerns are.
Okay, but are you admitting that you are pepper spray?
I am asking to hear your concerns.
But
Wait.
But okay, so my concern is, are you pepper spray?
I want to know, why is pepper spray a problem?
Okay,
I can tell you why.
I want to know, did pepper spray violate any guidelines?
Okay,
Okay, go. I want to hear.
Okay, but will you also answer my question? If you're pepper spray,
I want to hear the concerns.
will you answer the question?
Does it even matter?
Yes, it does matter.
Why does it matter?
Okay, it matters because pepper spray messaged the OLA Facebook page and said, oh wow, like, I really don't like what you guys have been posting, or like whatever, commenting on, like, kind of suggesting like what we should be pushing, and like, not liking a certain narrative, and then it's shared by Kat, and it's like, oh wow, look at this is what, out of like random messages that never get shared into the sandbox, this message gets shared, and it's like, whoa, this is someone saying they're not happy with our stuff. We should look at that.
To that
No, I'm not done. Perfect.
Okay.
I'm not done. And so like, and then pepper spray is controlling the page. So whenever we post anything that like, so like this person was like, oh, what, it was like, we posted something on race, and pepper spray was like, I really don't like this like harmful stuff that you guys have been posting. And then we posted the Brazil post, and it was like, you guys should post more stuff. So if you're secretly trying to drive the narrative of what the sandbox is doing, and you're pretending to be a profile that, is not, like, no, I said profile.
Okay, I said
No, I said profile.
Okay.
So like, if you're pretending to have a profile and pretending to be someone you're not, and you're trying to drive the narrative of the page, that's not trustworthy behavior. That's not like solidarity. Like, you as Patty can go and bring those same concerns to the sandbox. Like, when I comment on the page, I comment as myself. I don't make a fake Facebook and then try to drive the page. And I feel like when we ask you, like, hey, is this you? And you, like,
Today's the first time anyone's asked me.
No, that's not. Cheryl asked you in the thread. And so it's like,
I don't engage with Cheryl.
Well, that's a problem too. A problem of
It is a
yeah,
problem.
so we're talking about and we're talking about accountability. So if people are asking you if you are this person, like, if you are this person and you see nothing wrong with commenting as a separate person, then like, you should be honest and be like, yeah, it's me, I am commenting as that, what's up? But instead you're like doing this like backwards, like, not way of responding. And then like, I also wanted to bring up under accountability, like, the fact that you went into like the OLA Facebook group and you're like, oh, there's a power grab going on.
Can we stay on one topic? Can we
No,
please?
I thought the topic was on accountability.
But
Can you do direct response after
like,
she's
I'm just
done?
requesting that I'm kind of not be overwhelmed by like everything.
But it's on accountability. And I'm not just going to talk about you. There's like, okay. So it's an accountability in general, but like, we're going to talk about like, there's a process. Like, people say like, we don't really have these rules and process. Like, we do have rules. It's just that like, we can say like, for example, like, there's like 5B or 5A where it says you don't talk about OLAs and things outside of OLAs.
That's not what it says. Read it.
Okay, but I did read it, and you've actually used it to like kick people out of the group, and like, we can pull it up right now because we have a computer, yeah. And like, and you've used it. I remember it because I remember when Colin commented and outed me and Joel as admins. You actually said, hey, you just broke process like 5A or 5B, and like, and you also tried to call Beth out for that when she did it for the meeting. And so like, when you go to the OLA group and you spread lies that people are like power grabbing, and you have a thread and you're talking shit,
Okay,
like.
that's accusation number 3.
No, it's not accusation because like like
Like,
there's these threads. These are facts.
okay.
There's a difference between accusation. There's a fact. You had a thread. You're talking about bossy anarchists. Okay, that was a fact.
I didn't
You.
name any names there.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
I have screenshots. Do
Okay.
you want me to pull those up too?
So, and you're talking about the OLEDs and sandbox. You're talking about how we removed Joel
didn't-
without going through process.
Someone else brought up the sound box.
But okay, so so there is facts and there's
Okay.
process and there's screenshots and there's threads and it's like
Yeah. Are
So
you gonna
we're
hold
talking.
everyone accountable who's ever done that?
I mean, I would like to start holding people accountable, right? Like, if we're just gonna start saying well, I mean, fuck it, then why am I going by process?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, but why am I the first one being held accountable for that?
because Patty, you've done several things and you're not being held accountable at all, and you try to hold people accountable, and you're going around and you're saying that people
Okay,
are power
that's a rule. I
grabbing
broke that
and
rule.
doing
Okay,
things
I
that
broke that rule.
So are you
Okay.
going to be held accountable?
Actually, the rule is you know I broke that rule.
So you're going to be held accountable?
I totally broke that rule. Yeah,
So you're gonna leave the sandbox
for a week.
Do it.
Let me. I'm on the guidelines now. If anybody's
But
like,
is everyone else gonna leave the sandbox as well?
No. Well, I mean, if we can produce the evidence or something,
If
but
people
like,
break the rules.
we're just saying.
Come on, everybody's broke the rule.
Oh
Come
no,
on,
you
let's-
can't say that though. You can't disperse
That-
guilt.
You're not
Really?
effective.
Everyone's broke so many rules.
really deflecting.
Can I get a
I
stack
just-
too, please? Or am I
just
already
wanna
on
say
stack?
that,
What was your
like,
name again?
Marco.
I hear this.
I
a
should
lot,
already
and
been,
it's
right?
Like, it's guilt dispersal. And,
Okay.
You know, it's saying that like because I did it, it's okay because other people have done it. But
No,
you're
I'm
not
just
producing
saying that,
evidence. You're not
that's
producing
great if you want to
specific
hold me
things.
accountable, but let's be fair. That's what I'm saying.
Let's be fair,
Let's be
but
fair.
let's be fair and produce evidence, like produce convincing evidence, because like that's what we're trying to do here, and that's what we've been trying to do.
Okay. Can I think have you guys all said your concerns about the pepper spray thing?
No. Wait, can you still? I'm not a staff. Can someone ask her?
Okay, I'm. You know what?
I want to
I'm
hear the
just-
concerns first before I address it.
Can I finish?
Yes.
I'm gonna call this what all of. I think most of us are probably thinking. This is some COINTELPRO shit. You straight up. This is COINTELPRO.
Okay, so you are openly snitch jacketing me.
Did I say your name? I'm just saying it's some COINTELPRO shit. And if this pepper spray person is connected to you in some kind of way, then own up to it. Own it.
We're not going
That's all I gotta say.
sorry.
I'm just asking to hear the concerns before I address it. That's all.
Marco,
Yeah. Wow. This is all new to me. Again, my focus here is to make media, but I understand this has to be addressed. I get it. I had a thought, just putting it back together in my brain. Yeah. Again, it comes into but the question really came down to this. So far, Patty is taking a 2-week hiatus, from what I understand, and you guys aren't going to. Does that mean she can resume afterwards? Is that like a timeout, for lack of better words, like a media timeout, like a?
Join the sandbox.
when it's my sorry, yeah, just to stay on process, but I'll read the guidelines when I'm on.
Okay, so and that'll explain all of that.
Yep.
Okay, good enough. I was just curious, wanted to just stay informed. That's all.
Has everyone said their concerns about the pepper spray thing?
Well, I mean, mine was.
Oh, so, okay, I have a question.
Okay.
Because I want to go on that. Yeah. So, are we only talking about pepper spray or talking about accountability and knowledge?
Well, maybe in the interest of trying to, really properly address things, maybe we should just do pepper spray first and then move on.
I agree. I'd like to
Cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. What I'm hearing, and I really don't want to be interrupted while I say this. What I'm hearing is that you're basically saying that you go with a pepper spray thing. Now, my concern is that we have three there's one person who doesn't exist or something, and but we have two people who are responsible for bringing it to the sandbox, for making this person more prominent than just an anonymous profile that looks at our page. And it's you, but it's also Katuska. And I want to raise the point that Katuska, I just want to explore the fact that Katuska highlighted this comment and brought it to the sandbox. And there have been numerous comments. I've read so many comments from so many viewers, and a lot of them say a lot of
Oh damn.
The bomb squad.
Bomb squad. All right.
Anyway, a lot of the people who go into the page and write to us have a lot of concerns, and a lot of concerns can be addressed by I'll say like your people in your faction, like people who want to see like political institutional political reform and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of people who are commenting and writing about
I'm not a reformist.
what.
I'm not a reformist. I'm sorry for interrupting.
I didn't hear
I
you.
just wanted to say I'm not a reformist.
Okay, well, I didn't mean to.
But I'm sorry I interrupted you.
I don't mean to malign anyone. I didn't mean to. I just meant that like people have their agreements with people and people have their disagreements with people, and there's enough inflow to the page that we could be like that we could be paying attention to all of our mail and really feel reinforced. We don't need to highlight fake input. I'm trying to say we don't need to highlight fake input. There are people on your side out there, there are readers who want to see more memes, I'm sure, I'm sure of that. So let's just keep it clean, honest.
I put myself on the spot. So I just kind of want to have like a clear answer so we can, I don't know, move on from there. So are you up first, Ray?
I have all the concerns been stated.
I mean, do you understand that my concern is very much the same as theirs? That I feel, I mean, and if I can just reiterate my concern to be absolutely clear, it is incredibly disingenuous to try and ram your agenda through the committee through a fake profile. And I absolutely agree that, I mean, and it's not to say that you're a cop, but whether you know it or not, using a sock puppet profile to drive your agenda is right there on the COINTELTACTICS. Okay? Yeah, it's exactly what agents do. So, I mean, whether you know it or not, there's a good reason why agents do that. And, maybe you need to better understand that to understand why this is a huge concern. I mean, and again, as people have said, if you would just own up to that, then at least we can say, oh, okay, that is Patty that is saying these things. And then, I mean, I don't think that Alex was saying that Katuska was doing this on purpose. I do think that she selectively chose that comment to highlight because she agrees with those things, and that we should be hearing a wider variety of voices. But, this should be a transparent committee. That is one of our primary principles. And it is not transparent to drive your agenda through a sock puppet profile. That is my concern.
I think wow, where do I start? I'm actually shocked at the reaction, which to me seems like really, really overblown, like very extremely emotional, and it's very, very interesting that wow. Dude, honestly, nobody here listens to what the audience says. People put in the soundbox all the time stuff from readers. They get ignored. I'm not the only one who said this. They get ignored. You don't agree with what somebody said, you ignore it. You call them a troll. Somebody has a different opinion, they're called a troll. And people have opinions and they follow the guidelines and they get banned. So honestly, like I am a person who feels unheard. So I made another profile and didn't expect anybody to hear it, didn't expect anybody to notice it, didn't expect anybody to react to it. Honestly, like I'm shocked, like that the reaction and I think honestly there are other things that people are pissed off about that are not true.
I have a question. I was gonna ask her like a question, but
Go ahead, I'm cool.
no, of like what you just said. Wait, so okay, so just to clarify, you're saying that yes, you were
Yes.
pepper sprayed.
Yes.
Okay, so when you message the OLA Facebook group making a comment
Yeah, that
about
was
like,
dumb.
okay, but okay, so and did Katinska know that
No,
that was you?
nobody knew. Nobody knew. Absolutely no person knew.
Okay, so now that we know that it's you, that brings up a whole new bevy of concerns because that means that you, under a sock puppet profile, have been constantly breaking the guidelines by dragging OLA SM business onto the page
What?
and
You should
sharing those
post these things. You
dynamics.
should post that thing.
No,
GA didn't
no, I'm
consent
tired of
something.
negativity, all the infighting. I mean, like, I also have a bunch of screenshots of
There
Pepper
was
Spray's
there
comments.
was infighting. There was infighting right there on the thing.
No, there was not, and there are specific comments about the dynamics of OLASM on the page written by your sock puppet profile. So not only have you broken those guidelines as yourself, you have also done it under that profile, dragging the business. And so, just to be clear, I do have that guideline pulled up.
I know what the guideline is. You did. I read it
Yeah, but
yesterday.
people have asked for clarification on that, and so I just want to read
Wow.
exactly
You
what the
sound
guideline
really,
is.
really angry.
I am angry because this is very non-transparent. It is lying. It is trying to drive your agenda through a sock puppet profile. I don't like being lied to. I don't like being manipulated. We are not here to
I
manipulate
don't.
each other.
Wow. I don't like not being here.
Okay,
I
so
don't
the
like people
guideline reads
like
issues considering the team and
that's so
between.
dangerous.
Can I please read the guideline that you have broken numerous times? Issues concerning the team and between the team members are to be handled among the team. They are not to be argued on anonymous listservs, Google groups, private OLA group, or other forums. Team members will refrain from bad mouthing other team members, former or otherwise, outside the group. And, then it says if a team member is removed for rules violations, they will be required to attend 2 meetings, take 1 week leave, and their first shift back must be shadowed in order to return. Returning membership must be brought to consensus vote.
I'm cool with that. Ryan and Cheryl also did the same thing.
Can I
It's not.
can I get on stuff?
No, I'm just like let's just hold everyone accountable. Ryan and Cheryl with on the page and openly criticize OLASM on the Facebook on the OLA
That's
Facebook page.
that doesn't. You criticize the media team behind the post, right? I mean,
And Ryan and Cheryl did that. Ryan criticized the media team many occasions.
specifically, did he name people? Did anyone name people? And did anyone really like? I just think it's a different thing.
I don't think it's different. I think
Can I comment on
it's
that?
not.
I mean, I just like saying, oh, well, I shouldn't be held accountable because other. I mean, like, when are we going to start? When are we going to start?
I never
I
said.
just want to finish what I'm saying, please,
Right.
because what Alex was trying to say earlier really resonates with me. That we can't. It's like, oh, well, that person has it. That doesn't excuse your own personal responsibility or you personally being held accountable. That is separate from other people also needing to be held accountable.
I'm being held
And
accountable, and then
and I don't want to. I mean, like, honestly, like when you say, oh, well, they haven't been held accountable, that tells me that you don't really feel personally responsible for violating the
I don't think
guidelines.
you heard what I said.
That's the way it makes me feel.
I don't think like
And don't, please don't invalidate the way I feel, because that's always what's happening. People are saying, oh, well, they did, he did, she did. Yeah, so when do we start with accountability? And when, and are we, like, I also see this thing starting to go, oh, well, we didn't hold them accountable, so let's not hold them accountable. No, no, that's not the way
can
it's
I
supposed
just
to go.
directly
and
respond
and
to
I
that,
don't
please?
want to weigh people against them as to whether we are actually going to practice collective responsibility or not.
Okay. Um, I'm accountable. Somebody said that I'm going to take 2 weeks off. I'm taking 2 weeks off. Okay. I, I, I never said I wasn't accountable. I'm accountable. I'm gone for 2 weeks. Okay. But can we put on stack Ryan or Cheryl? Because there is like clearly a political motivation to get rid of certain people. Absolutely, there is. Let's not do it. Let's not play.
You want to dance to contact? Okay, so next is like Amari and then Alex.
Okay, you know
Um,
what?
oh,
Oh, go ahead.
so,
I wish Cheryl was here because that's so much to say.
I don't know, maybe someone who has internet can like ask. So
Henry though.
regarding like okay, so it's kind of like the same thing that happened with Joel, right? Everyone's like, oh well, Joel, and then they would like start talking about that, and it's like, but Joel would move someone from the sandbox. Joel like blocked people. He had personal. I mean, Joel did so many things that he wasn't being held accountable for that it was like we kept giving him so many opportunities, and he kept breaking the process, and it's like okay, so like we have to hold Joel accountable. He obviously like we keep giving him like lenience and
And
like
I
nothing
voted for Joel
happens.
to go.
So
Like,
what I would say with you is like you had a secret account. You went in this OLA Facebook secret group and you were talking about the committee. You were talking about the committee on your public Facebook page, which you and Patty like you have so many friends. Like I have like 200 friends on my Facebook, but you have so many because you like to invite people to events. So you're talking about OLA stuff with people who you're potentially trying to bring out to actions. And you're talking about the committee. You're talking and like you're spreading like rumors and like so I feel like so for you to say like oh well Cheryl or Ryan did this, it's like that's always happens whenever we try to bring someone accountable, and it's like but you have a list of things. So like if we said okay fine, Pepper Spray will forget, but are we going to forget about his page, or are you going to forget about your personal page? Like I think that there's like so many things to be held accountable for. Amari.
Okay, first of all, Patty, it took about 5 minutes of questioning me that you were this pepper spray. So how are you even being accountable? You're not being accountable. You had to be prodded into again to admit it that was you. So that's not being accountable. I'm sorry.
Alex.
And can I get on stack too, please? Thanks.
Oh, well, I mean, okay. Here's my thing with Cheryl. Cheryl got in the group and posted a lot of stuff, a lot of posts that no one liked. I mean, like whatever that I like you posted that the graph of our reach, and it took that dip, and that dip happened when Cheryl joined the group. And you're right. Cheryl's a bit. I think Cheryl has her pluses and her minuses, but I want to say that you added Cheryl, and so
I didn't.
you didn't add
I
Cheryl.
didn't.
Who added Cheryl?
I'm point of clarity.
And then I don't even know. I don't know why that dip happened that day, but that dip happened that day, and I pointed it out. I don't know why. Like something. Like I just asked a question. Did something happen that day?
Well, no, I'm not pointing. I
Okay.
saw someone ask. I saw someone ask about the Alex Hadrian asked about the reach, and then you posted it. So
Yeah.
that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Um,
And then Heather. Oh, I just Oh, Cheryl got added because you posted the thing in the OLA
I
group
had a
that
very
like we
strong
needed new
concern.
people because there was the takeover. I wanted to address when you said political because like there's this kind of like narrative that's going on in the sandbox. I feel like it's actually like counterproductive. That it's like oh there's these fractions or like these like allies are just like supporting allies, and it's like like I liked your photo album, and you're like, hey, can I get 3 likes? And I'm like, I'll like it. It's like I don't like stuff because oh, it's someone else's like faction to do it. It's like no, that's a way of silencing like real concerns. So like it's not like a political motive here. Like before that rumor starts spreading, but it's about like certain people doing things outside of process and being held accountable. And like if there was anyone who from like this perceived faction that did the same thing, we've already been gone. Like if it was me who had a secret profile, I'd already be gone. And like also I just want to say about you talking about Cheryl.
The secret profile. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I just don't feel comfortable about us talking about like sandbox sellers when they're not here like that.
So can I just directly respond to that? The secret profile thing didn't break any guideline or any rule, or it's just it didn't. There's no guideline. There's no rule. That was.
Let me pull up the screenshots. Unbelievable.
Wait, I'm sorry.
What was your name? Yeah.
You are talking about pepper spray, right?
No, I mean, I'm sorry. Sometimes it's hard to articulate. Having a secret profile outside of the sandbox. Well, yeah. I mean, there's no guideline about secret profiles, but like I honestly don't remember like what was said, and I don't really know what the accusations about insider information. Like, I don't remember.
I had Ryan on Slack.
I was just wondering when your 2-week break is going to start, right now or after the meeting? Are you going to continue to stay here, or are you going to leave? I was just wondering when it's going to start.
So are you saying that if I take a 2-week break, I can't come to a meeting?
And then you come back, and then you have to be shadow.
I don't know.
I was just wondering when you were going to start your leave.
Like babysitting.
I don't know how it works.
I would assume that it would be out.
Well, I mean, it's up to
Yeah.
you.
Well, I still have like several concerns that
So
I'd like to
after the
address.
meeting. I just wanted clarity.
I don't know. It sounds
Yeah,
like she'd
maybe
really
she
like
wants
me to
to
leave.
at least participate in the meeting, and then I don't know.
Yeah. I was just seeing.
I don't know, like
If we want to continue to
yeah.
address anything.
So this whole thing roots from person not being heard, and now I feel like you're wanting me to leave and not be
I
heard.
did not insinuate that. I was
Okay.
seeking clarity on when the 2-week started. That's all. Okay? Is that clear?
Like,
I don't know the answer. Like, why is that important?
So Anne,
Are we going to time it down to the minute? Like,
I was on stack.
oh, you were.
I should have been. That's happened to me to other GAs too. Should have been.
Oh, Martha. Okay, I saw you in the picture. Sorry. Martha.
It's okay.
So Martha and then Anne.
Thank you. Okay. My personal experience is that, again, I've been to about 30 different Occupy camps. I've dealt with a lot of different things. I've created a lot of social media for those camps, with those camps, while I was there. Now, I also made it clear to them that I wasn't geographically staying in the same areas for too long, and that because of that, I wasn't looking for any kind of deep-rooted, long-term physical commitment to where I was. I'm not going to commit to shooting every protest because I'm not going to be there. Okay. Anyways, that just being said, I'm seeing a lot of stuff, and the concerns that came to my mind about the whole situation, since we're on that topic, right, the accountability, I know that there's other people, and I don't even know who any of these people, I think I know who the show you're talking about is, but again, I don't even care about the specifics about fighting. My biggest goal is the specifics about getting things done. So, I mean, that's still the focus. So I guess I'd love to, address, let's hurry up and fix this, and then go on and actually do something productive other than argue. And then second, I don't want to hear about not arguing. Come on, man. Let's not argue. So that being said, let's focus on getting things done. So then, number two, as a traveler who's done that, I got shut down by a lot of GAs for being smart and having smart ideas and not being heard. So I can, in many ways, understand Patty's concerns. And again, I don't know her all that well either, but from an outside perspective, what I'm hearing and what I've experienced myself, I've seen GAs tell me, and I have videos of it, of me being in the middle of talking, and they literally grabbed me and rounded me up as if I was getting arrested. Why? Because I said, hey, let's use the Constitution to vote in a new president. Shut up! So the point is that maybe the group, somewhere within the groups, sometimes we all need to just listen a little bit more. There's a reason we're born with 2 ears and 1 mouth. And I'm hearing a lot of extra talking and less listening. So I'm just kind of putting that out there. That maybe we should all look at ourselves as well, not just at outside places. Just kind of putting that out there. So that's just what I'm seeing. Anyways,
And
First of all, I appreciate you even allowing me to be here because I have no connection to LA, but I do have connections to other occupiers, especially, I don't think I should name them specifically, but along the East Coast where they're trying to do reoccupation right now.
How much time
If
is
you
that?
had any interest
I'm
in
not sure. We're up to
reoccupation,
an hour.
I would
How much
hope
time do you
that
get?
Okay, we should probably
there
argue.
are, I don't know
Okay.
what your goals are. I'm willing to try to find out,
Should I
but
should talk to
it
me or
might
you
be
do
better
it?
to, I don't know what's going
I'm
on
not
with
gonna be
me.
able